words out of my mouth, you already know where I'm from. But despite the New York accent, I have the honor of teaching the Scottish Enlightenment at the University of Glasgow. So, you know, you walk down the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, whatever you call that crazy little bug of yours. You walk down the Royal Mile, that's basically my syllabus, right? So you see Adam Smith, you rub David Hume's toe. That statue of Hume, by the way, ridiculous. He didn't look anything like that in real life. He had a figure more like mine. But, you know, I guess philosophical greatness is the 18th century equivalent of Ozempic. And the toe, in real life, the toe was swollen with gout. You don't want to be rubbing that. Believe me, you don't want to be rubbing that. And anyway, you can imagine how disappointed my students are when they show up at the Scottish Enlightenment with Michael Frazer. And they get me. Okay, shut the fuck up, get your asses in your seats, and I'm going to take you on a tour of Scotland's greatest fucking intellectual achievements. And no, I'm not one of those Americans who thinks he's Scottish because he has one great uncle from Dundee. Took a DNA test, it just told me what I already knew, 98% Ashkenazic, Eastern European Jewish. Surprise was 2% that bitch, which I was not expecting. Turns out Luzzo is a distant cousin. Who knew? But why the name Frazer, right? Well, it's actually a really common phenomenon. A lot of American Jews change their names to try to sound more American and escape anti-Semitism, right? So my ancestors tried to sound more American, ended up sounding Scottish. Bit of a mistake, not the biggest deal, but we have cousins who somehow ended up with the name Freezer. They want to sound more American and they ended up sounding like an appliance. Sort of a Ford prefect kind of thing for the dorks in the room. You Jewish? Oh, no, me. No, my name's Moishe, no, Michael Tubelstein, no, Michael Tumbledryer. Michael Tumbledryer, shalom, nice to meet you. Didn't work. But the thing is, the Scottish Enlightenment isn't just for Scots, it's for New York Jews, it's for everyone. The whole point of enlightenment is learning to think critically, think for yourself, give up on your inherited beliefs, leave your intellectual home behind, and join what they called the Republic of Letters. So like Hume's critique of religion, for example, it may have originally been directed mostly at the Scottish Kirk, but it completely changed what I believe as a Jew. I mean, I have Hume to thank for all the bacon I've eaten ever since. Which has left me looking much more like him and cousin Lizzo. And he's also made me rethink what I believe as an American, right? So there are all sorts of connections between the Scottish Enlightenment, or really the Scottish Enlightenment's opponents, and the American founding, which was happening at the same time. So like, if you're hip-hop musical fans, you already know that one of our founders was a bastard orphan son of a whore and a Scotsman. But you may not know about this other bastard named John Witherspoon. I mean, you've heard of his kid who invented the cheap-ass beer, JD. But John Witherspoon was the head of the anti-Enlightenment faction in the Kirk at the time. The evangelicals, the fundamentalists, they were called the high flyers. And the moderates, the pro-Enlightenment faction in the church, who were trying to make sure that Hume didn't have his head cut off as a heretic, they had this brilliant idea. They did the same thing that the English did a century before, and they sent their lunatics to America to get rid of them. And John Witherspoon became the president of Princeton, where he served as the mentor to James Madison and Aaron Burr and all the other founding fathers with their dope rhymes, who I'm sure you're familiar with. So basically, America has had the worst spoons hangover ever since. And the moral of that story is don't blame me for Trump. I'm a citizen of the Republic of Letters. I didn't vote for him, but you You bastards! You sent us all the fanatics who did. Fuck you all. Thank you very much.